Hello and welcome to a special preview edition for this week's Ohio State football game. We have here our Lantern sports editors Colin Hassell with Edward Sutling. Guys, it's finally Penn State week. It seems like we've been waiting to get to this week all season with this team. Colin, what are your initial thoughts heading into this weekend?
I mean, just like everyone else, it's finally here. We've been through 5 weeks of just beatdowns. So I've been writing the game story every week. The game story has been basically written by halftime every single day. Finally, since the Oklahoma game, this is the first time that I really feel going into it that Ohio State could actually lose.
Yeah.
It's the second time all season. It feels weird even just saying that because they've just played cupcakes basically every single game. Now, we thought that Nebraska might show them some sort of challenge, at least for a half. It didn't happen. I think everyone's just interested in seeing, has this team that we've seen beat up on these 5 teams, are they for real or are they not? Okay.
Now, Ohio State did open up as the favorites for this game. I think it was a full touchdown. They're full touchdown favorites right now. Did that surprise you?
It did surprise me. It didn't surprise me too much. I mean, they are the home team. They have played very well as of late, but obviously Penn State just had its best performance of the season. So if you're smart, I feel like you would probably lean towards Penn State if you're betting that. But because I think this has to be a close game. If you're looking at both teams, all 4 units, both Ohio State's offense and defense and Penn State's offense and defense are all really, really talented.
Yeah.
If you're looking at it from an Ohio State perspective, this is the game. This is where the season lives or dies on. It can live on, and then you can try and beat. Then you have games against Michigan State, Michigan, and then probably Wisconsin in the Big Ten championship, and then all of a sudden, it's your chance at redemption in the college football playoff. If they lose, the season's over from an Ohio State perspective because it's college football playoff or bust. This is the game.
All right. Now, one of the units that Ohio State has had some trouble with in these past few weeks is their special teams unit. Saquon Barkley for Penn State returns kickoffs for them as well as playing running back. Obviously, Ohio State has had some troubles kicking the ball down the field.
Just a few.
Yeah, just a few issues. What are you seeing going into this game?
I think that this is the one area of the game where I mean, obviously Penn State's going to provide issues for Ohio State everywhere, but I think that this is one that Meyer has to have sort of circled on his play sheet. The only real sort of standout kick returner that Ohio State's faced this season has been Maryland.
Yeah.
It was Ty Johnson, the star running back for the Terrapins.
Yep.
And as sort of expected against a team that had been struggling up to that point, Ty Johnson returned one kickoff for a touchdown, and then he brought another one out. I believe it was past the 40. He provided Ohio State with a lot of issues. Barkley is a lot more explosive than Ty Johnson, which is, not really surprising to anyone. Barkley is one of the best players in the country. If Ohio State can figure out a way to kick it through the end zone or locate it well in the corner like they've sort of tried to do at times, they could potentially limit Barkley in the kickoff return. But if they kick it down the middle and they're playing to chase into the left corner like they've done all season long, Barkley's going to return a touchdown on him. It's just one of those things that might happen.
And the difference in the game against Penn State and Maryland is pretty obvious. It's that if Penn State has that great field position, they're actually going to do something with it. Yeah. Unlike Maryland, who would just toil and then punt it. Ohio State's going to be in real trouble if Penn State has great field position every single time.
Yeah.
Now, another place that might give Ohio State trouble is Penn State's defense. Just a couple stats for you guys. They're number 1 in the Big Ten in sacks with 24 on the year, number 1 in Big Ten scoring defense, and they're number 2 in Big Ten passing defense, and they've only allowed 3 passing touchdowns all year. Now, when you're looking at Ohio State's offense, it's looked, since the Oklahoma game, it's looked more and more explosive in the passing game. What does Ohio State need to do to be able to surmount this Penn State defense?
I mean, basically, they have to take advantage of every opportunity every single time they have it. They have to be the best passing offense that Penn State has faced this season. They have to basically. They can't have Penn State have all those number 1 spots after this game. They have to get the ball in the end zone. It's almost so obvious that, okay, Ohio State needs to score passing touchdowns. But it's been hard both for Ohio State against good teams to do that, and no one's done it against Penn State successfully. Ohio State has to buck the trend, basically. That's what it just comes down to. If they want to win, they have to do that, and this progress that we've seen in the past 5 weeks, they have to actually show it against a good team finally. Now, I think that they will. I think that they've played well enough that I've seen this progression, this week-to-week progression. It seems like they can do stuff that they just couldn't in the second week of the season against Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And that's That's, to me, what the game comes down to. And that's why, in the end, I think I'm going to pick Ohio State, just because I think that this progress has been for real. I could be totally wrong on that, but we'll find out.
Yeah, and I mean, you look at Penn State's secondary, too. They've got two of probably the best defensive backs in the country. Marcus Allen and Grant Haley both were named to the Thorpe Award semifinalists today. And I believe they may have been one of only two teams to have two players on the list. And of course, those two played a prominent role last season in Penn State's victory over Ohio State. Allen blocked the kick from Durbin, and Haley returned it for a touchdown. Ohio State hasn't faced any corners like this or defensive backs like this season. These guys could really provide them with some issues, but Ohio State's offense is also so sort of against the norm of what Penn State has faced this season, being that they're not really going to be airing it out down the field. They just throw a lot of screen passes. So it'll be interesting to see how Penn State's defensive backs adjust to this sort of change and deal with the speed of guys like Dixon and Campbell.
Yeah. Well, that's all we got for you guys for now. Be sure to check back throughout the week for more coverage leading up to this game. We'll see you then.